If you're watching this alone tonight, you might want to check under your bed first, because what happened to this girl started exactly the same way. She thought she was completely safe until someone walked into her room. Emily was 16 years old, and that Friday night, she had the house completely to herself. Her parents had left for a weekend trip. Her older brother was staying with friends. The house was quiet, too quiet. At around 1:12 in the morning, Emily was lying in bed scrolling through videos on her phone. The soft glow from the screen was the only light in her room. Outside, the wind pushed gently against the windows. Somewhere in the hallway, a light flickered once. Then it went dark. Emily didn't think much about it, at least not at first, because a moment later, she heard something downstairs. A door, slowly creaking open. At first, she assumed it was just the wind. Old houses make noises, everyone knows that. But then she heard it again. Footsteps. Heavy, deliberate footsteps, walking slowly across the living room floor. Emily sat up in bed. Her heart began to race because she remembered something very clearly. Before going upstairs, she had locked every single door. The footsteps continued. Step, step, step. And then they stopped, right below her bedroom. If you heard footsteps in your house right now, would you go check or would you hide? Emily slowly climbed out of bed. Her room was dark except for the faint glow of her phone. She walked toward her bedroom door. Every step felt louder than the last. And just as she reached the door, she heard something else. Someone breathing. Slow, deep breathing from the hallway, right outside her door. Emily froze. She didn't move. She didn't breathe. Then, very slowly, the doorknob began to turn. The door creaked open, and someone stepped inside. But the thing that walked into her room didn't look normal. It was tall, too tall. Its head almost touched the ceiling, and the way it moved was wrong. Its arms bent strangely, its joints twisted in unnatural angles, like its body didn't quite understand how humans were supposed to move. Emily didn't scream, she didn't run, she dropped to the floor and slid under her bed. Her heart pounded so loudly she thought it might give her away. From under the bed, she could only see the wooden floor and the doorway. The figure stepped further into the room, slowly, quietly. Then it stopped, right beside the bed. Emily held her breath, and then she saw them. Its feet, long, pale, bare, standing just inches from her face. Time passed, maybe seconds, maybe minutes. Emily couldn't tell anymore. The figure didn't move. It just stood there, as if it knew exactly where she was hiding, watching, waiting. Then, suddenly, the feet disappeared. Emily thought it had left, but then she heard something else, a scraping sound from the other side of the bed, like someone slowly lowering themselves to the floor, like someone getting down on their hands and knees. Emily slowly turned her head, her body completely frozen, because she realized something terrible. There wasn't enough space under the bed for someone else, and yet she could hear breathing right beside her, slow, wet, close enough to feel. Then
A voice whispered in the darkness, right next to her ear. "I wondered how long it would take you to look." Emily screamed. Her phone light flashed on, but whatever had been beside her was already gone. The police arrived about 15 minutes later. They searched the entire house, every room, every closet, every corner, but they found nothing. No broken windows, no open doors, no signs anyone had been inside. Emily tried to explain what happened, but the officers assumed it was just fear, a nightmare, until one of them knelt down to check under the bed. The officer suddenly pulled back, his face completely pale, because carved deep into the wooden floor were scratch marks. Over and over again, the same words repeated again and again. "I live here." So, if you're watching this in bed tonight, don't look under it, because sometimes the thing hiding there is waiting for you to check.